Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
On a lonely beach 50 miles from Metropolis, Superman waged a titanic battle with Henry Miller, the Atom Man, a human monster in whose bloodstream flows the deadly kryptonite, enabling him to generate terrific atomic power. Finally, Superman was conquered and lay motionless on the sand. Drunk with power, Miller destroyed the Teufel, the half-mad German scientist who had made him the Atom Man. Then, certain that Superman was dead, Miller buried him in a deep hole on the beach and left for Metropolis to make further use of his incredible atomic power. As we continue now, Jimmy Olsen, having escaped from a henchman of Teufel's, has arrived at the ravaged, blasted beach with Sheriff Simpson and a deputy. Unaware that Superman lies almost beneath his feet, Jimmy stands by as the sheriff and his deputy bend over the charred body of the Teufel.
Appears to me this man was struck by lightning. Wouldn't you say so, Fred?
It ain't nothing else, Ferv. Must have been one awful freak storm that hit here, too. There were the big craters in the beach, and them trees down the woods. You notice how they're split and blackened clear through?
Yeah. Olsen,
Yes, Sheriff?
take another look at this fella. You still think he's that Nazi Teufel?
Oh, I'm sure of it. Especially now he hasn't got his phony wig and mustache
Well,
on.
I called Inspector Henderson. He'll be out here pretty soon. He'll know. Now, what about those other two men you said you saw here?
Must have been more than two, Sheriff, judging by all these tracks in the sand.
There were only two, besides Teufel, I mean. One was Henry Miller, our new reporter. He was the one who was shooting the green sparks out of his hands.
Green sparks?
Yeah, they were like little bolts of lightning, and they were coming right out of his hand.
What the...
Hold it, Fred. Go on, Olsen.
Oh, Miller was shooting these sparks at a man in the sand. It was right about here, at the edge of the woods. It made the whole beach and forest shake. At first, before I saw what it was, I thought it was an earthquake.
Great Jehoshaphat.
Great fiddlesticks. Olsen must have seen the tail end of the lightning storm. Some of the boats probably hit behind Miller, and Olsen thought they were coming out of his hands.
They were, and there wasn't any storm.
Don't talk foolish, son. Only lightning could split these big trees down the middle and scorch them that way, and blast these big holes in the beach.
But I tell you...
Never mind. I told you what happened. Now, what about this man you say was lying on the sand? You, sure it wasn't this one? Fellow you claimed Teufel?
No, Teufel was standing behind Miller. I don't know who the other man was. He was lying on his stomach.
Was he a big fella? Big or small?
He was pretty big, I think. He was all hunched up. I can't be sure. He had on a red sweater or jacket or something. I think he was dead. But Miller kept shooting those sparks at him.
If he was dead, where is he?
That's what I was going to ask.
Gosh, how do I know? I got scared and ran back through the woods to get help. Maybe Miller buried him.
Why would he bury him, not Teufel? I think...
Uh-oh.
What do you got there, Fred?
I think it's a... a gun, a .32.
Oh, see it.
Here. I saw part of the barrel sticking up out of the sand.
Yeah. 4 shots fired from it. Not very long ago, either. You can still smell powder.
Maybe that's what Olsen saw. The sparks, I mean. Miller might have been shooting the guy on the ground.
No, I tell you...
Could be. Come on. Do a little digging where you found the gun, Fred. I feel that Olsen's right. Miller buried the fella.
Okay. It's right here.
Start digging. You look around, Olsen. Might be you'll find something else.
Okay.
Don't seem like nothing's buried here, Sheriff.
Well, go down a bit more. Wait. Hey, what's this?
What?
This little piece of cloth, see? It's red.
Uh-huh, but what...
Olsen said the fellow was wearing something red, a sweater, a jacket, or something.
Well, that piece of cloth didn't come out of a sweater or a jacket. It's too silky.
It might have come out of a muffler, though. Olsen said it might have been a muffler he saw. Yeah, look here. Darkened. Scorched-like.
Might be powder burns, huh? From the gun?
Yeah, maybe. Come on, dig some more.
All right. Nothing yet.
Yeah, keep going. Found the gun here, a piece of cloth.
Hey, Sheriff! Sheriff!
Wait, Fred. What is it, son?
Come on over here. I found something.
Okay.
Where is he?
There at the edge of the woods.
Oh, yeah. What'd you find, Olsen?
Come over here and see. I don't want to touch it.
Maybe he found the other dead guy.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Okay. What is it, Olsen?
There. See? On the ground.
What? Well, shucks, I thought...
Hey, look, Fred, look. There's another piece of red cloth.
Sure enough.
That's what I wanted to show you.
Yeah, looks just like the piece we found back there. Yep. Scorched and dark in the same way, too.
Any blood on it?
Nope. Don't get it.
Well, maybe Miller dragged the man into the woods here and buried him. And the piece of red cloth could have come from the man's clothes. Remember I told you he was wearing something red?
Say, that might be it, Sheriff. The ground looks fresh turned over, too. Maybe if we dig right
the
here...
ground looks fresh turned over. That's from the trees getting uprooted in the lightning storm.
But if we dig right here where I found the knife...
We can't go digging up the whole beach and woods. Tell you what to do, Fred. You and Olson take my car and drive to Linwood. Find Doc Akers and bring him out here and look over the body. By the time you fetch him, Inspector Henderson ought to be here, and then...
I'll wait for the inspector. No. Gosh, I gotta call the Planet and tell him what happened to Teufel. This is a big scoop.
I don't want any newspaper stories till Inspector Henderson says it is Teufel. I want you to go to State Police Headquarters with Fred, Olson.
Oh, but I'm
You
sure...
heard me? You give State Headquarters a description of Miller and the car he was driving, so they can get an alarm out for
But
him.
I tell you...
Will you stop arguing? Miller maybe killed somebody. If that's really Teufel like you say...
Oh, it's Teufel, all right.
Well, then, if Miller was working with him, Miller's a Nazi, too. Maybe a murderer. We've got to find him. Now get going, both of you.
Okay, Sheriff. Come on, Olson.
I'm coming. Boy, they better get Miller. I tell you, there were green sparks shooting out of his hands and shaking the ground. Golly, I wish I knew where to find Superman. He'd make short work of Mr. Henry Miller.
Unaware that he himself prevented Sheriff Simpson and his deputy from finding Superman by calling them away just when their probing hands were a few scant inches above the buried man of steel, Jimmy follows the deputy to the sheriff's car. What will happen next? There's an exciting climax ahead, which we'll bring you in a moment. But first, here's a word from your announcer.
You know, gang, a lot of people think it's more fun to anticipate something, to look forward to it, than it is to actually have it. But believe me, that's not true of those new comic buttons you fellows and girls are all collecting from packages of Kellogg's Pep. Of course, it is fun to look forward to Mom opening a new package of Pep and, to wonder which button you'll find inside, but it's just as exciting when you get that smart-looking button. Maybe it's one of the new comic buttons you need for your collection. Might be Superman or Winnie Winkle or Orphan Annie. Or maybe it'll be a duplicate that you can swap with one of your friends. Boy, that's swell fun, too. And you'll get a kick out of pinning those comic buttons on your jacket or dress or cap. And the best part is, those nifty comic buttons are so easy to get. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. You just ask Mom to get you some of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Inside every package, there's a thrilling prize, one of these new comic buttons with pictures of your funny sheet favorites or a military insignia or warplane button. There's a prize for you in every package of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
It is just before sunset on the lonely, ravaged beach where Superman and the Atom Man fought their Herculean battle. Teufel's body has been removed. Inspector Henderson and state police officers have visited the scene, made photographs, measured footprints, and departed. Now all is silent, save for the low murmur of the wind and the lapping of the outgoing tide. But suddenly the silence is broken as two men dressed in hunting clothes and carrying shotguns come through the fringe of the woods toward the beach. Black and white water spaniel roaming in the brush suddenly springs out on the sand and, plumed tail aloft, rushes off the beach, barking.
Listen to that crazy animal. Can't wait for us to knock a couple of crackers down so we can go fetch him.
I can't wait either. I haven't had a decent shot yet this season.
We ought to get plenty of shots in the next half hour. We got 3 mallards and a pintail on this beach yesterday, and the wind's better today.
I hope you're right. All I wanted... Hey, Joe. Look.
Holy smokes. What happened to the beach?
I don't know. It sure is torn up like it was bombed.
Yeah. Look at those trees up ahead. They're all down.
Must have been a hurricane.
We'd have heard about it. Probably a freak electrical storm. See how that big oak is split right down the middle?
Yeah. And it's scorched. Oh, you're right. Only lightning could do that.
Boy, glad I wasn't around.
Me too. Hey, look at that hole. Wow, it must be 10 feet deep.
I see it. Uh-oh. I see something better. Flight of mallards coming in straight ahead. Hold it, Mark. Don't move.
Right? Where's the dog?
Don't worry about him. He knows his business. What? Well, how do you like that? Barking his fool head off and scaring the ducks away. Biff! Come here! Biff, come here!
He's digging in the sand.
I'll teach him. Come on. He knows better than that. Biff, come here! Come here, boy!
He must have found something. Look how deep he is already. I can just see his tail.
Yeah, that fool dog. And after all the years he's been hunting, digging up a dead fish and barking his head off with ducks overhead. It's going to hear from me. Biff! Stop that digging! Stop it, I said! Biff! Stop that digging!
Enraged, the duck hunter strides along the beach, approaching the deep hole his excited dog is digging in the soft sand, determined to pull him away and reprimand him for having spoiled a perfect shot. If he does, the body of Superman, buried deep in the sand at the very spot, will never be discovered. For even now the tide is rising, and as the sun sets, the water will roll up and cover the beach. Or does it matter? Can Superman, bombarded by livid bolts of atomic energy, and buried now for almost an hour, still be alive? We'll know tomorrow, and we'll also know what plans the deadly Atom Man is hatching. So be sure to listen. Tune in, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications.